I'd like to call to order the Bergen Community College Board of Trustees meeting dated Tuesday, August 6, 2019. Maria, please read the Open Public Act.
Yes, Vice Chairman. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey have been satisfied by an annual notice, including the date, time, and place of this meeting, posted in the first floor main lobby of the Pitkin Education Center of Bergen Community College, was mailed to the Record in the Herald News and filed with the Clerk of the County of Bergen, November 26, 2018.
Thank you, Maria. Please take roll call.
Yes, Vice Chairman. Joseph A. Barretto.
Here.
Dorothy Blakesley. Here. Gerard Carroll.
Here.
Patrick Fletcher is absent tonight. Krista Flynn is participating by teleconference tonight. Mark Longo.
Here.
Irene Ojo is absent tonight. Shatal Ranjan participating by teleconference tonight. Joseph Zara.
Here.
Bryant Gomez.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we take the reports, I would like to have a moment of silence for our dear departed chairwoman, Carol Otis, please. Thank you. And now we'll take reports. Does the secretary have a report?
Nothing to report. Later I will report on last month's meeting.
Thank you, Trustee Barretto. Does the treasurer have a report?
Yes, the Audit and Finance Committee met at the end of last month, and we will be recommending that the board approve AF 1 through 9.
Thank you, Trustee Blesley. Does the president have a report?
Yes, thank you. I'm glad we started the meeting by acknowledging Carol's passing. Later on this fall, we will do something more fitting here after we have some discussions with the family. I think for those of us who knew Carol well and for a number of years, it's hard to adjust to the reality that she's gone. It happened so quickly. She'll be missed on campus. Carol was almost at every public meeting that we had. She was always there cheering us on and reassuring us. And so it was a very sad thing. We had our board retreat yesterday. In fact, we thought about postponing that board retreat because of Carol's passing. But then we realized she would have been down to business. She would have told us to get on with the college's business, and so we did. She was on the planning committee. I want to thank the planning committee for their work in helping me put together the retreat. Gerard Carroll, Joe Barretto, Dottie Blakesley, and of course Carol Otis were the leaders in that in doing the planning. And I want to thank Maria. Maria, I thought you just did a great job on all the logistics.
You're welcome. All of you. You're welcome.
Dr. Leslie from the Alamo College's district, who was our ACCT facilitator, was really appreciative that everything went smoothly with hotel and travel and that. And other than Mark Longo giving us a hard time about no cookies, everything I think was
But we wound up getting the cookies in the end, and it got us through.
Yeah, my waistline knows that too. And I want to thank the members of my executive staff who took time to prepare presentations. I thought that added a lot to the meeting yesterday. And I want to thank the 7 board members who participated. They came at 8 o'clock in the morning full of energy. They left at 3 o'clock. I can't say that they were still full of energy, but I think it was a good day, and as a result that we're better prepared as a board to face the business that we're responsible for here at the institution. The retreat was an educational opportunity. It was, if you will, a professional development training opportunity for the Board of Trustees. Our facilitator was Bruce Leslie, who recently retired from Alamo College's district, one of the most recognized community college districts in the nation. We're really glad to have him. We also had Aaron Fichtner, who's the president of the NJCCC. The retreat had several topics, but in the morning we focused broadly upon issues of sustainability as it applies to financial trends in the country, marginal taxpayer support that we all have to deal with, and enrollment pressures. And so we first looked at that from a national perspective. Dr. Fichtner then helped us think about those things from the standpoint of New Jersey, and then we took some time to talk about what it looks like on the ground here at Bergen Community College and how we're responding to those pressures. There were other topics. One that we spent a good bit of time on in the afternoon was equity, diversity, and inclusion. ACCT has a statement on equity, diversity, and inclusion. So we talked about that statement, and we talked about broadly the implications of that statement for the responsibilities of boards of trustees. So it was a good event. It was our third board retreat, summer board retreat. I thought this one was stronger than the last year, and last year's was stronger than the year before. So I think we're headed in the right direction. Before we go on, I just wanted to give an opportunity if any of the board members wanted to make a comment about yesterday. Sure.
Yeah, well, it was very informative. Dr. Leslie was probably one of the best facilitators I've had in years, in either here in New Jersey or in New York. It's great when you work with somebody that's passionate, informative, and it just listens. And everything that we had questions about, things that we wanted to, he was prepared and gave us. And to be honest with you, it was refreshing because you felt like he was a part of us, and he did his homework. He knew a lot about us, which was a great help in trying to fix or tweak the things that we've been trying to get done here and things that we know we need to accomplish going forward. And I feel that I learned a lot. I think the board got to know each other a lot yesterday as well. And I think this year is going to be even bigger and better than the last couple. So, thank you.
Anyone else?
Nope. Okay, great.
Good. So the fall semester is almost on us. I don't know what, every year as I get older, the summer goes faster and faster. And this year, we're opening the fall semester on my birthday, so everyone should remember that, on Wednesday, September 4th. So with enrollment, we're still declining, but it looks like we have a good chance that the decline will be in line with our budgetary expectations for the fall. And if that holds up, that's really good news for the college. We're always tweaking to make changes, to make things better. And I've said to my staff that I want them to be absolutely ruthless and to walk around the college with their eyes wide open. And when they see things that make no sense from the standpoint of being a student-centered institution, not just to walk by it, but to stop and figure out what change that we can make. And so I'm trying to practice what I preach as well. So I'm walking downstairs a couple weeks ago, and we were a bit crowded outside the registration window, and I saw all those students and prospective students sitting on the floor. That just doesn't seem right. So now there are chairs. Chief, thank you for getting those chairs there. It's a way of us showing respect, I think, for our students as well. We've made a number of other changes to try to make things a bit more friendly. We thought that the wait times in the advising area were too long. I wouldn't want to be sitting somewhere for a half hour, hour and a half for someone to help me with advising. And so we've added a number of peer tutors. They're going into effect this week that I think will help us with that as well. We've made some other small, but I think changes that make a difference. So in our one-stop center, sometimes we call it the web room, there's, if you will, a control desk, but it's in the back. And so now it's out in the front, right? So when the students first come in, there will be someone triaging, making sure that they're at the right place and so forth. So we're hoping little things like that mount up to make a real difference. But I appreciate the fact that I think we are doing better as an institution of noticing these things that sometimes are indignities to students, and trying to make it a friendlier and better experience for them. I think we should say just a little bit about the CCOG initiative, the Community College Opportunity Grant, but I'm going to let Larry Levinka, my Executive Director of Public Relations and Community Affairs, handle that for me.
Good evening, everyone. So Trustee Veretto before said bigger and better, and I think that's the operative phrase for the Community College Opportunity Grant this year. As you may or may not know, the program has been expanded and extended for this year, which is just terrific news. This is a last dollar scholarship that will provide students with a tuition-free experience at New Jersey's 18 community colleges. As you know now, there's one fewer because there has been a merger. Point is, we lobbied very hard, the president, myself, the trustees, and other members of our kind of coalition here at Bergen for a few things, but one of them was to raise the adjusted gross income that students would be able to qualify for the Opportunity Grant. If you recall, it was $45,000 previously. It is now $65,000. So especially in a county like Bergen, we believe that should help a much broader swath of our students. There are other details that are outlined in our FAQ. There is a series of them here for the trustees. We know that you will help us promote the program out in the community. What we're also doing to promote out in the community is we've hired recruiters to go out to retail centers, to spots, community worship centers or houses of worship, and all of these other community contacts and locations where we can send people out into the community to say, hey, this is available for you. But think about this. You may have students that make more than $65,000 in households that still can't quite make ends meet in order to come to college. So the message that we have been very intentional in giving to students is the following. Fill out your FAFSA. By filling out your FAFSA, you make yourself available for programs like the Community College Opportunity Grant, like the New Jersey STARS program, like the Educational Opportunity Fund, like Pell Grants, TAG Grants, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Fill out that FAFSA, you unlock all of these programs that could make college more affordable. So that's the message that we want to give to the community, not that this is just a program for students that are making $65,000 or less, or their parents are making $65,000 or less. We have a very wide advertising campaign. Vice Chair Carroll said that he already saw it, which is great news to me. And this is the spot that we're running, keeping in mind that messaging that we had discussed earlier.
College can be affordable. File your free application for federal student aid at Bergen Community College and unlock programs that can even make your education tuition-free. Classes begin September 4th. Now is your chance to find money for college. Visit bergen.edu today.
So you see, short and positive, the message, college can be affordable, fill out that FAFSA, come do it at Bergen. Financial aid department has done a really good job of scheduling workshops over the next few weeks. Every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. there will be workshops where students and their families can come in and get assistance filing that FAFSA, which again is the message here. File that FAFSA, make college more affordable. I'd be happy to take any questions from the board or Joe. Yeah.
It's more of a statement, I guess. Looking at the lines on registration and everything the last couple of weeks, it's night and day different from a year or two ago, where it was really crowded, really just people waiting on the line, and it looks like all the changes that have been made to an app, to information to students, to ads like this, it really does help. I mean, I forgot to mention earlier, Bryant, who is a student here, it's been wonderful in you know, the way his take on things as when he was a student here, and the perspective that the students have on campus. And I think that the changes have been great, and you do see a difference, and hopefully it translates into larger enrollment and having more students take advantage of this.
That's right. And I mean, the trustees, you heard it yesterday. We echo this all the time, but Admissions, recruitment, retention is everybody's business. Obviously, we play a part in that as the PR department for sure, but we have enrollment management, we have admissions, we have academics, we have our great faculty. I mean, there are just so many areas that support those kinds of changes at the institution, like the president was talking about earlier, to try and make an impact on our students and trying to give them a more seamless and customer-friendly, in a sense, way of doing business here.
Well, one of the big changes that's resulted in fewer students standing in line is the verification process for financial aid. We're handling that very differently, and I think, a lot of credit goes to Priscilla Clemenco, our interim VP for Student Affairs, and Frank Cuso, Managing Director of Financial Aid. But I think we've gone from something like 3 weeks lag time down just a few days in terms of processing those applications. So that's really the good news. There's one negative thing here that will need the trustees' support on politically. It's too late this time around. One battle we lost because we didn't even know it was being fought until the decisions had gotten made, was the treatment of out-of-county students. The county colleges in New Jersey tend to be overly parochial regarding those things. Some of it has to do with the way that we're funded by local taxpayers, but the CCOG is being funded by the state, is not being funded by the county taxpayers. And so the decisions that were made by the state in regards to out-of-county students were done in a way that disadvantages colleges like Bergen, perhaps us more than any other college in the state. We are devising some strategies now to sort of fight back and exploit some loopholes in that. I mean, I don't think people realize just how many out-of-county students we have here. So at over 2,000, approaching 3,000.
2,400.
Yeah, students. And then I think this is a battle we're going to have to fight directly with the legislature and the governor's office next year. And when that comes around and the budget battles, I'll talk to you more about the kind of advocacy that we need. So that's my report.
Well, thank you, Dr. Rebin. Now we'll move on to committee reports. Audit and Finance, please.
The Audit and Finance Committee recommends that the board approve AF1 through AF9.
Thank you, Trustee Leslie. Education, Student Affairs report, please.
Yes, the ESA met July 23rd, and I move to propose approval for ESA 1 through 6.
Thank you, Trustee Barretto. In the absence of Trustee Fletcher, I'm going to give the personnel report, and I move approval for P1 through P12, as well as like to have a special board meeting on August 20 of 2019.
Do you want me to comment on
Yes,
the reason
please.
for that? The reason for the special board meeting is that we've had a lot of staff changes this summer and a lot of turnover and a lot of searches going on. And there are a number of faculty searches that are not quite complete at this moment, but they'll be complete in the next week or so. And it's important that we follow a good process in terms of getting them hired and making the salary offers, and we can't do that outside of board action. So the purpose of that meeting will be to approve those hires.
Is it at 5 o'clock, regular board?
Correct, it will be at the normal time, 5 o'clock. Site and facilities report, please.
Site and facilities met on July 24th, and we are moving SF1 through SF3.
Thank you, Trustee Longo. And our alumni trustee.
Yes. So I just attended recently to today's Reimagining Bergen. It was a meeting from 1 to 3. It was facilitated by Dr. Brian Agnew. And for the 2 hours, executive directors, VPs, and along with deans from other departments of the college, such as student affairs, academic affairs, continuing education, and workforce development, etc. They were developing SMART goals for the coming 2020 academic year. I was able to attend for the full meeting, and I just have to say I was really happy and surprised at not only the new developments that are occurring, but the fact that we have everyone coming together to create new goals that will be improving the college. And it was something that I was very thankful to be a part of. And not only that, but I was also able to work with Christine Gillespie and with the continuing education workforce development, and with some staff members from student affairs. Lastly, for student life, I was just told that we will begin in-person orientations for starting August 20th. However, we are making a change now in order to accommodate students that aren't able to make a morning session. We're also making afternoon/evening sessions to accommodate those students. And last but not least, SGA is working with advisors on making structural changes for the fall to make it more accessible for students. And that concludes my report.
Well, thank you, Trustee Gomez. Now I'll give my Vice Chair report. It's very short.
Sure.
Yes, I did attend the retreat yesterday, as well as I did attend the diagnostic medical sonography penning ceremony. And I thought that was very interesting. I was not able to attend it last year, but it went very well. And that concludes my report. At this time, is there any unfinished business any board member would like to raise? Trustee Barretto.
Okay. I guess I sort of mentioned it a little while ago, and when I was talking about the retreat yesterday, where we were given a lot of information that I feel is going to push us forward into bigger and better. But I also wanted everyone to know that during the 8 hours we were there, we also saw that we've done a lot of good changes. And it's great to hear when we're all together and people observing what's been done, just that we're on the right path, that we're trying, we you know, if there's a mistake done, we try to correct it. Students are the priority always. And I feel that the last couple of years there's been a growth, and I don't see that stopping. I think if everybody really just continues to work together, and if there's questions to be asked, to ask them, and you know, I think really great things are going to happen. I'm not just saying that. I honestly feel that and mean that. And I'm looking forward to this year coming, because I really do see wonderful things. And the last thing is, this young man in front of me, I'm just in awe, because you're just amazing, Brian. I don't know how else to say it, but the way that you handle things, the way you discuss things, the way you look into things, I love your perspective, and I really appreciate you being here on the board, so thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other board member that'd like to be heard?
No.
Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to close the unfinished business portion of this meeting.
I'll offer.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Was that an aye?
Yes.
Okay.
Just have a-
Any objections? Extensions? Seeing none? Now we'll move to the open public for comments. Is there anyone from the public that would like to be heard?
There's one.
I am Dr. Walter Rothog. I have a question on one of the items on the consent agenda, which is item Board of Trustees Action P4. The question is that there are 5 names on it. 4 of them are being appointed at the, in fact, 1 is being appointed at the associate instructor, but I'm questioning the appointment. I'm just not questioning, but I'm just want a clarification as to why the appointment in mathematics is being made at the instructor's level and not at the assistant professor level.
There are general
I can't.
guidelines in the contract for appointment in terms of the degrees, experience, and so forth that are meant to govern whether it's done at an instructor level or an assistant professor level.
Can you be more specific as to what the level, why did the candidate in mathematics not meet this?
Did not meet what?
Did not meet the requirements for appointment as an assistant professor?
No, I can't speak in regards to the specifics of that person. If I remember correctly from the contract, the minimum requirement for appointment assistant professor is PhD plus 2 years or a master's degree plus 4 years. I would assume that we have made the appointment in line with those contractual guidelines.
So that is the thing. I guess I can't get any more specific than that as to how specifically the candidate did not meet that level. We have, you publish, not publish, but online there is the requirements for the appointment to the position. Does this square with the requirements that you've made for, the posting of the person, of the opening?
Yeah, I believe I've stated those requirements correctly, although I am doing it from memory.
So you've got no further comment on it?
No.
Yeah, sir, if I may, since it is a specific person that we're talking about with respect to personnel matters, I think Dr. Redmond has given you as much information as he can. We can't individually comment on specific personnel.
Is there anyone else like to be heard?
Hi, my name is Tobin DeMarco. I'm president of the Faculty Association. I have a comment and a question on the same action, P4, same person. If you notice, this person is being hired as an instructor in mathematics, and that is the department, and math, science, and technology, which is the division. The problem here is that we have disciplines, and some departments have more than one discipline, some do not. In the case of mathematics, based on the reorganization that was done in 2014, there are now 2 disciplines within the mathematics department. One discipline is college-level mathematics, and the other is developmental mathematics. Now, if we don't hire within a discipline, it's not on the board action, it's difficult to know what to do on many fronts. It causes all kinds of problems. And one of them is that our contract, the faculty contract, is very discipline-based. So, for example, one's voting rights for all types of issues are based on discipline. Promotion committees are based upon discipline. If this person is hired in mathematics, they won't have a home. It'll be unclear where their voting rights are, what discipline review committee should they apply to for promotion, and it also affects things like in-load class assignment and overload assignment. This is all discipline-based in the contract. If we don't hire within a discipline when it's appropriate, there's going to be real difficulty here. And it's going to wind up being my problem and Michael's problem. And that's why I would always like to, not have these kinds of things.
Yeah, let me make a comment there. I'm actually fairly sympathetic to Tobin's complaint, but I do think, though, that our practice in the board packet of simply indicating the department is something we've been doing for a number of years. Am I correct about that?
In the mathematics case, if you look back over, say, the last 8 years or so, there have been people who have been hired in developmental or have been hired in college level. Now, in the cases that there weren't, it was just a matter of practice of where that person was sort of meant to be, and then they just bypass practice, wind up in a discipline, right? But recently, because of this reorganization in 2014, it's become more important to indicate where people are hired.
In 2014.
Well, I'm just saying that in the case of mathematics, it became important because 2 departments were turned into 1 department. There was a developmental mathematics department and there was a college-level mathematics department. When they were combined, then the discipline becomes more important. And like I said, it will be hard to know, for example, if this person wants to teach overload, how do they get treated?
Right.
For in-load assignment, how do they get treated?
Right,
the department chairs won't know, and the coordinators won't know how to treat the person.
So let me say, for benefit of the board and for the audience, underlying issue is that academic departments are administrative organizations, if you will, that change from time to time, whereas your discipline persists over time. And thus, many, many years ago, well, maybe not that many years ago, but a number of years ago, the college always made appointments to the discipline so that it would be clear if the person was tenured, what discipline the person is tenured in. But it has been the case for some time the college hasn't been doing that. And it does pose some of these problems. The problems seldom become large because in most instances the discipline corresponds neatly enough with the departmental structure. I think on this one, because we badly need to make the hire, that probably the best way to go would be that we would sit down afterwards and determine administratively which discipline in the mathematics area that we would consider to be primary.
I would have no objection to that, so long as we memorialize it in writing in some way, whether that's through a human resources department memo or something. But if we don't have the board, and again, I think...
I have no objection. Okay. I think that's a reasonable recommendation.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And again, I think you understand why
I do.
I'm raising the issue.
Actually sympathetic.
Right.
So I'm going to ask, by virtue of this meeting, if Dr. Fisher might follow up with you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael.
Anyone else like to be heard? Oh.
Yes. Good afternoon, Luis de Abreu, the director of the STEM program. So the reason why I'm here, I just want to make sure that hopefully Maria conveyed the message, but we do have a nice little gathering on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. This is the wrap-up session, and I believe I invited most of the people here in the audience as well as the rest of the community here at the school. So this is the wrap-up session to pretty much summarize everything that we've been doing for the last 12 weeks with all the STEM interns. I'm happy that I've been working with 84 interns throughout the summer. It's been a very hectic summer for us, but at the same time, it's very fulfilling and very rewarding to see all the amazing things that all these students are accomplishing and they'll be able to deliver. So they'll be delivering that message to you guys on Thursday, as well as everyone else that comes to the event. Among these 84 interns, I just want to highlight a few of them just to give you an idea of these success stories that we formed here at the school. So the state of New Jersey has something that is called the New Jersey Governor's STEM Program. So I spoke with the director of the program. Her name is Rebecca, and she's actually, I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on with her. She gave me a little bit of the numbers in terms of applications. So over 500 students statewide applied for this program. Only 15 of them, out of the 500, more than 500 that applied, only 15 of them were accepted. 3 are Bergen Community College students. Out of those 3, those are the only community college students in the entire program. Everyone else are undergraduate and even postgraduate. So we're competing against PhD students as well as graduate students and of course undergraduate students. So those 3 students are also under the umbrella. I don't know if you remember when I presented a few months back what we call the 3SP program, the STEM Student Scholars Program here at Bergen Community College. So I think we're doing something right. And one more person that I wanted to highlight that he was accepted into the, I want to mention the name of the program right, is the NASA Community College Aerospace Scholars. He was also accepted. I don't have the exact numbers, but he was accepted among thousands of applicants. And he not only went through a training that it was conducted by NASA, but he was invited to some of the facilities. And he will also be on Thursday presenting his research. So hopefully you guys can join us. That way you can see the amazing work that our students and talented faculty members are working on throughout the summer, and to show a little bit of support. And just to go back to the comment that Dr. Redmond said, Chairman Carroll will be highly missed. She was always coming to these events, and last summer I remember her. She came, she stayed there for the entire time with her husband. So hopefully you guys can build up on that legacy. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys on Thursday.
I want to add a comment there too. The director of the Governor's STEM Scholarship Program is Rebecca LeBeau. I think I'm having lunch with her tomorrow. But,
correct. So yes, sorry to interrupt you, but she was so impressed with the performance of our students and the fact that 3 of them were selected out of that program that she wants to come and to see what is it that we're doing right.
So those of us who have been at the college for some years, we know the name of LeBeau because her father at one time was the chair of the mathematics department at Bergen Community College. So.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to make 2 introductions before we forget. The first is Dr. Brock Fisher, our new Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Gwendolyn Harewood, our new Director of HR and Employee Relations. I just wanted to make sure that as they're here at their first official board meeting, we had an opportunity to welcome them officially to Bergen Community College.
Thank you, Brock.
Thank you.
Dr. Rothog again. I have a comment regarding the thing before. At one time, when administrative and faculty appointments were made, the resume was part of the board package, which was published in the board. This was years ago. And at the time, I raised the point when they stopped doing it, and Carter was the board chairman at the time, and he said, the problem with that is that the resumes contain personal information. And he said, we could come up with some sort of plan to delete these and perhaps continue that practice, but nothing, delete the personal information. but nothing came of this. Now, when new faculty and new administrators are introduced to the faculty at the, the meeting, first general faculty meeting of the year, indeed, they are introduced with the thing of, where they attended school, and they give their experience. This would be, if there's any, this is something which, I can't see the name, but you mentioned that, you had personnel things and you had to protect the personnel issues. But I think that this bit of information traditionally was public. Indeed, in the college catalog, they publish the degrees that the...
Help me, Walter, I'm sorry, but what's the question?
Now, I'm just making, since the response was that we, that matters could not be discussed because of personnel questions, I think that there could be more opening in the amount of information which is provided in these trustees, in the resolutions where you appoint somebody, then, that would not compromise their personnel relationships, but, and I'm just trying to say that this information is given to the faculty when they're introduced to the faculty.
Am I mistaken, though? I thought in the board packet, we do have the resume summary for each of the candidates. That's been our practice since I've been here, almost 38 years.
What, excuse me?
In the board packet, if I'm not mistaken, you do have a one-page resume summary.
Yes.
Do we not?
Yes. I have it. Here. He said board packet. It's in the board packet. I don't know what.
Uh-huh. And how long have we...
Yeah, he said board packet. He has in the board packet. I don't know what the document is. I think it's something that the personnel which would be.
Got it. Well, I've been here 38 years, and I think there's so many things about the college I understand really well, and then every once in a while something happens, like what's happening now, and I say, wow, I didn't know that. So let me say this for the public. We have, for many years, decades, prepared a one-page summary of the resume for every faculty member that we hire. What I did not realize until just now, that one-page summary is not routinely published in the public packet, and I think that's what you're addressing, but rather it's included in the packet of information that we provide to the Board of Trustees. I certainly agree with you that basic information about the person, their degrees, and that, and you're right, we publish it, so there's no reason not to make it available. Now, whether we can do that through the resume, this one-pager, that I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to consult with counsel on. But it's an interesting point that you made, Walter, that I didn't realize.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard?
Greetings, trustees. My name is Clayton Drew. I'm a student here at Bergen. I just wanted to refer back to something the president said very early on about the chairs next to the waiting area.
Yes.
I gotta say, those changes and many others were phenomenal. All right, I was wondering who was responsible. Now I know, so thank you. And
You're welcome.
And additionally, I wanted to remind you guys and the members of the public that tonight is National Night Out, which means that towns all over the place are having free food and beverages and festivities, so please take advantage because I assume we all pay taxes.
Your name again? What was your name again?
Clayton Drew.
Okay.
So this young man will be graduating from Bergen in the spring, if I remember correctly. So I asked him what comes next, and he said, I think I'm going to run for the Board of Trustees. So better watch your position.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Anyone else like to be heard?
That just made my day.
All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to close the public portion. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections, extensions? Seeing none, the public session is closed. At this time, may I please have a motion to accept the July 9th, 2019 board minutes?
Motion.
Is there a second? Great. Maria, please take roll call.
Yes, Vice Chair. Joseph Barretto?
Yes.
Dorothy Blakesley?
Yes.
Gerard Carroll?
Yes.
Patrick Fletcher is absent. Krista Flynn?
Yes.
Mark Longo?
Yes.
Irene Ujo is absent. Shatal Ranjan?
Yes.
Joseph Zara?
Yes.
Brian Gomez?
Yes.
Thank you.
May I please have a motion to accept the July 9th, 2019 executive session minutes?
I'll move that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Maria, please take roll call.
Yes, Vice Chairman. Joseph A. Barretto?
Yes.
Dorothy Blakesley?
Yes.
Gerard Carroll?
Yes.
Patrick Fletcher is absent. Krista Flynn?
Yes.
Mark Longo?
Yes.
Irene Ujo is absent. Shatal Ranjan?
Yes.
Joseph Zara?
Yes.
Brian Gomez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now on to the consent agenda items for approval for Tuesday, August 6, 2019. May I please have a motion to approve the following consent agenda items: AF1 to AF9, ES1 to ESA6, P1 to P12, SF1 to SF3. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll offer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Maria, please take roll call.
Yes, Vice Chairman. Joseph A. Barretto?
Yes.
Dorothy Blakesley?
Yes.
Gerard Carroll?
Yes.
Patrick Fletcher is absent. Krista Flynn?
Yes.
Mark Longo?
Vice Chair, I want to recuse myself from AF1. Yes on everything else.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mark. Irene Ujo is absent. Shatal Ranjan? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Joseph Zara?
Yes.
Brian Gomez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there a need to go into executive session?
Not that I know of.
I do not see a need to go into executive session at this time. I would like to reopen to the public for their comments. Is there anyone in the public that would like to be heard? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to close the public session. Is there a motion?
I'll offer.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections, extensions? Seeing none? Does anyone on the board wish to make a comment, statement, or have a question? If not, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? I have a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any extensions? Seeing none? The August 6, 2019 meeting of the Board of Trustees is now adjourned.